And hey, it's Jess, and welcome back to another speed build in the Haven's Hollow save file series. It has been so long since I have filmed a speed build for the series. Like, way too long, if I'm honest. Yeah, basically, I took a bit of a break for both reasons of my own and also just from reasons of the game being terrible. So, first of all, this is indeed an interior only. If you have not seen the last speed build in this series, I did the exterior of this house before the game update for businesses and hobbies that made it so that the venue icon in build mode flashes constantly, no matter what you do, unless you have the businesses and hobbies pack, which I did not have, and I will likely never have unless they can prove to me that it will not corrupt my game. So yeah, this is the interior. The bug is still here. That is why you see my little icon in the top corner covering the venue information, so that you don't have to watch that constantly glow the entire speed build. I mean, it's bad enough normal speed, but sped up, it is so annoying. They need to fix this. It is a ridiculous bug that should not exist. Like, it really shouldn't. So I tried waiting, but I just got sick of it. I wanted to build. I needed to, because I've been working on the case file for this religiously. Now, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and even tuning into this specific save file series, this is the Haven's Hollow save file series, which is basically like a mystery save file. It is set in this kind of sleepy New England town, and there's this whole missing person mystery that you are supposed to solve when you come in and play in the save file. Now, I have been working on the case file for this mystery. And when I say I've been working religiously, I mean this case file document is 300 pages. 300 pages. Now, don't freak out. I know that's like a whole novel, but the pages aren't completely filled. This is just how it ended up with all the formatting. Now, right now, it does stand at like 12,000 words, and I've pretty much only scratched the surface. So it's probably going to be the length of a novella in word count. Hopefully it's not going to be the length of a novel, but it does kind of give choose your own adventure novel energy, kind of. I don't know how to describe it. It's very unique in that aspect. But yeah, 300 pages. I think it's going to stay around that many pages because I've been working on the formatting first before any of the writing. So I've gone through, formatted all the pages, how I want it to look. Basically, I have the page count down. What I don't have down is all of the actual writing. So for this case file, there are, I think, 5 different, I guess you could call, clue types to solving this mystery. There are interviews, interrogations, house searches where you can find clues, diary entries, and articles. Those 5 things. So far, I've written all of the diary entries and started the interviews. Now, the interviews are really short and easy to write, but there are so many of them. I don't even know how many, but probably there's like 2 types of interviews. Run-in interviews, which are with every single character in this save, so maybe like 40, 50 sims. And then the in-home interviews are just with the sims that live in-world on the lots, which is far less sims, but most of them have more than one in-home interview. So it has been a very long process. I've been working on the run-in interviews, which are very simple. there's a lot of logistics that I've been working out in this case file. Like, a lot. Kind of figuring out how to get to the multiple endings has been kind of stressful, I won't lie. It has been a stressful process to think, okay, what do I need to do to make this have multiple endings, to make it make sense, to have things be cohesive. But I've been really dedicated to it. I've been having so much fun with it. Like, whenever I have a break during work, I'll just work on it. I'll write, I'll format, I'll figure out the plans and everything, and it has been so much fun, and I'm so excited for you guys to see this case file and play through it. Hopefully, at some point. I've been working really hard. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm shooting for getting this done by fall. Because this is a fall-based world, you play through autumn, basically the 2 weeks in autumn if you have the seasons pack. And that's the time frame you have to solve the mystery. So it's an autumnal world. I pretty much built this all in mind, like an autumn-based New England world. So I'm hoping I can get it out by this autumn, which is stressful because I have 2 more massive builds, like very ambitious builds to do for this save file. I have to make all of the Sims. So that's like 40, 50 Sims that I have to make. And I have to finish the case file, so it's kind of ambitious. But I'm hoping to get it done before autumn or in autumn so that you can play when it is actually autumn for you, unless it's not autumn for you. But that's the basic idea. So I do have a timeline. We'll see if I make it. I'm really hoping I will. If I don't get the case file done, I at least want to get the save file so that I can upload it and then release the case file after. But there's a lot to do. It's going to be stressful, but hopefully also fun. Now I will stop talking about like the logistics side and actually start talking about the build that I am doing. Again, this is interior only of this Cape Cod mansion. This was very difficult for me to furnish because it is indeed massive. Like, it is huge, but it was fun. I like the white, like everything with the dark wood floors. It feels very clean, very expensive. And I tried to make it somewhat unique. I don't know if I really achieved that, but I did try. Right now we are working on the kitchen, which ends up being, kind of small for how big this house is. The floor plan was definitely interesting, and I made some unique choices. But I end up really liking how this house turns out. We have basically the main area that we're working on is kind of the public area. You have the entrance, the study, the kitchen, and then the next room will be the living room, the entertainment room, and the dining room. Then you kind of have this second door from the front outside and this, I imagine, locked door from the inside hallway that goes into the private section, where there is another living room, a movie theater, and then the master bedroom, master closet, and master bathroom. And there's also a little hidden doorway to go downstairs into the basement, which has a wine cellar and like a hidden vault with a bunch of money in it. And that, I just thought that was cool. This family in my save file is supposed to be very rich, like very old money. The idea is that the family that lives here, the Dickinson family, their ancestors were in Havens Hollow before America was even an independent country, because this is set, New England, America. And they are a very proud and wealthy family. They own a country club that I built forever ago now in the harbor dock area at Brindleton Bay. This family is rich, so rich, it's unbelievable. And they might have some secrets, and they're definitely a big family when it comes to the mystery, even though, Corinne, the missing person in this mystery save file, is not of this family. She did date the son in this family for, I think, over a year, maybe less than a year, but close to that amount of time. So, the boyfriend is definitely one of the main suspects when you get into the case file. So this house is very important. Now, I haven't added any of the clues or anything into any of the builds yet, because I don't want to show that on screen. It's supposed to be a surprise when you get into the actual case file and you play through on your own. But I wanted this house to feel very expensive, and there were also some secrets. There is also a pool house out back and a greenhouse out back and a garage out in the front that's separate from this big mega mansion. This house is huge. Absolutely too big. I had a really hard time furnishing. Even though I'm happy with where it is, I think it looks good. There definitely could have been more detail added in. And maybe I'll do that with the clues, but it was very hard for me to furnish this house. Even you'll see me here trying to put stuff on this pantry shelf, and I just straight up give up. It was way too difficult for me. But this family is very important. There are 5 people in this family and 2 pets. So there is the mom and dad. The dad is the one with the family line who has been in Havens Hollow for, centuries at this point. And the mom, she's your pretty typical, old money mother. She cares very much about, going to the country club and golfing and playing tennis. Doesn't spend too much time with her kids. She's definitely had plastic surgery. You get that energy from her. And then there are the 3 kids. The oldest, her name is Hallie, and she actually went off to college, but she dropped out and moved back home, and she is currently living in the pool house. Even though her team bedroom is still furnished upstairs, she's living in the pool house. And then there is Logan, the boy, Corinne's ex-boyfriend. And he is definitely that rich boy archetype. He parties all the time, gets drunk, just is pretty much just stupid, to be honest. Maybe he has potential, but he wastes all of it. And he gets in a lot of trouble at school and with his family. He's a troublemaker. And then lastly, we have Mavis, which is the little girl. She is, I think, 7 or 10. So she is a kid, a child, age sim. And she is so sweet and adorable. I haven't made her yet, but how I imagine her, she's just very sweet and kind. She has a cat, and Logan has a dog. So those are the 2 animals that are in this household. I imagine Mavis's cat is the same age as her. So they got the cat when she was born, which means the cat is kind of getting on in years. And I imagine her cat is very grumpy, but also very pampered. I'm thinking her name will be Princess. But then the dog, I'm imagining a big dog, maybe a scary dog, for Logan. And those are the 2 pets. So I added all the things needed for the pets. There's the bowls in the kitchen. And then upstairs, I think in the laundry room, there is the litter box. And then in Logan's bedroom, the dog bed and dog toys. And in Mavis's bedroom, the cat bed, cat toys, and cat tree. So that is the family as it stands. They are very pretentious, very much so. specifically the dad, because he has this long history. He's a piece of work. Even the mom too. Both of them did not like Logan being with Corine. They thought she was not good enough for him, so when they broke up, they were very happy. Which you can take as you want. But those are the family dynamics that are at play in this household. The mom isn't quite up to the perfectionist levels that Corine's mom is. If you haven't seen I can't remember what it was called. I think Colonial Family Home was the speed build that I did for Corine's family house. It is pure white. Everything is perfect. Like, designed to look just clean. Because her mom, a complete perfectionist, like, scarily so. I don't think this house is quite the same level, but it is similar. The mom is not a perfectionist, but she wants to keep up appearances. You know, this is a very historic family. They make a lot of money. I'm not quite sure yet what the dad does. His name is Lance. You know, he has like a lot of land ownership in Havens Hollow. In fact, he owns about half the private land in Havens Hollow, so you know he's rich. And then he also owns the country club and runs that. And I'm guessing also the park/golf course that is attached onto the country club. So maybe he's just a landowner? I don't know. He's also a businessman, I think. You know, I just don't understand rich people. I don't understand how rich people get their money. That is so far removed from my world. But, you know, I'm going along with what I can think of and the storylines I've got cooking up. But this family is a piece of work. And you will see when you read the case file, hopefully, whenever it comes out and you play through the save, you will see what I mean. When you do interviews with these characters, they're very dismissive, very pretentious, think very highly of themselves. Even, I mean, maybe not Mavis, the little girl. She's not quite at that point yet. She's very sweet. Hallie, the older sister, I think has tried to reject her family upbringing. So that's another interesting dynamic. And then Logan probably is the most like his parents, but he has feelings and hidden the stuff. I don't want to give too much away, so I'm sorry if I'm being vague. But I am in love with the characters I've created, the storylines I've done so far. I'm so excited for you guys to play this. It feels so far out of reach right now because the case file is far from being complete. And even once I complete the case file, I have to make sure it's playable in game and that you can actually solve it to completion. So I'm working hard and it's been fun. It's pretty much just like writing a book, but being able to see it too in The Sims, which has been super cool. You know, I am a writer on my own time and I write a lot. I've written books much longer than 300 pages, 12,000 words. But this does feel like a daunting task, and I just hope it's not for nothing. I hope at least someone plays through this and enjoys it. Or else I will feel like I dedicated hours and hours of my life to make something just for myself, which is okay. If it's just for me, awesome. But also, it's hours. Hours of time I've dedicated to this. You know, I'm not going to complain because I've had so much fun. The world, like, being shaped by my own hands is really cool. You know, as I said, I've written a lot. But it's so different to see the world I have in my brain exist visually. Because I am mainly a visual person, a visual learner. I like to see things visually. So being able to just see my creation, have it inspire what I write is fun. Now we will talk about the build again. You will see these hidden library doors. I know they look out of place. I tried to make it seem as natural as possible. I think I kind of got there with the 2 bookcase doors next to a fireplace. I wanted to do a whole line of bookcase doors. But that made no sense because then you'd open a door onto the staircase, which not only is strange, it doesn't work logistically, it's a safety hazard, and it's just strange to look at from the other side. So I settled on the 2 doors, make it look like a built-in bookcase. It looks as natural as possible, and even this side of the house is like the private side. Only the family and people they trust will come over to this side, and I imagine the parents do host like parties down in the wine cellar. I mean, it's a wine cellar. Of course, they're going to go down there. They're going to have drinks. They're going to get wine. I imagine they have super expensive wine. I'm getting those vibes from, I don't know if you guys have seen Psych, the TV show, but there's one episode where they're like a vineyard and they go down into a wine cellar. That is the energy I wanted to kind of capture, very rich, very old money, new money, just money in general. Speaking of Psych, I hit an interesting milestone recently on my YouTube channel. And this is important to no one but me. But I hit 43 subscribers, which is like big for me. I know some people will think 43 is like nothing. Why are you making a big deal out of it? But I'll tell you why. It's just because of Psych. I can't believe I'm bringing it up twice in a speed build voiceover. But Psych is one of my favorite shows of all time. I've watched it so many times. I grew up on it. It is like my comfort show. So basically, why 43 subscribers is important to me is because in an episode of Psych, there is this character named Woody who is a coroner. And he is kind of like in a hostage situation. And he tells the person that is keeping him hostage, I can't die. I have 43 Twitter followers who depend on me. And that is how I'm feeling now. I cannot die. I have 43 YouTube subscribers that depend on me. So that was just a fun milestone that I hit myself recently. I have gone above it now, but you never know. I could lose 2 subscribers and be back to 43. I could lose all of them and have to work my way back up. I just thought that was funny. It was a fun thing to like just add for myself. I have 43 YouTube subscribers who depend on me. Speaking of social medias, though, I have a Tumblr, as you might know. I usually link it in my descriptions and in my end cards. I have my Tumblr ID. Basically, my Tumblr has been taken down for seemingly no reason. Now, it seems like this is a current problem with Tumblr, like recently, where a bunch of people are having their accounts be terminated and they're not given a reason, they're not given a response. I've been waiting for 2 weeks to hear a response back from Tumblr. My Tumblr is just gone, which really sucks. And I'm hoping I'll get a response, they'll be able to fix it, because I have not violated any of their terms. Like, all I do is repost CC, post my Sims, and my challenges. Like, there's literally nothing there that should reasonably get me a violation from Tumblr. And at first I thought I did something wrong. But then I was looking at Reddit and I saw that a lot of people were getting their Tumblr like terminated for no reason. And that's the other thing. Usually when you have a social media account terminated, they will give you the reason. Like, that's pretty typical. But all of us are saying it gets terminated and no one tells you. No one says, this is why you were terminated, this is the problem, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like it is a bug in their system that is wrongfully terminating accounts, which is terrible, and they really need to fix that. Because you can't just be deleting people's accounts for no reason. There are some people who have gotten their accounts back, but there are also many others like me who have been waiting for weeks. And many people have been waiting for way longer than the 2 weeks I've been waiting. Many people have been waiting for like over a month to get their account back, and they're just not responding. You send them email after email after email, and they do not respond to you. It's like they do not care. I get it. They're probably really overwhelmed because, as I said, this isn't just a me problem. It seems like a lot of people are having this problem. So they're going through a lot of people's accounts, probably trying to reinstate them. And I've also heard from people that they won't respond to your email and will just put your account back and won't tell you, which is interesting practices from Tumblr over there. But I'm not going to judge. You know, they are allowed to do as they wish. I will not judge their decision making, even though I might want to. But that is the current social media stress that I'm going through. Trying to get my Tumblr back. Because like, it's not even that good of a Tumblr. It's ugly. I don't have that much on it. But also it's where you can access the challenge I made myself. It's where you can access Sims I've made with massive CC lists. So I guess I'm just a little bitter. Hopefully by the next time I post a speed build, it'll be fixed. Because the next time I post a speed build will probably be, honestly, a while. Because again, the last 2 lots in this save file are very large. One is another mansion like this. And then the other one is an abandoned boathouse that is not only big, but I don't know how to build something abandoned. It will probably take a lot of debug items and tool manipulation, which I am just not good at. I have no experience with. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to work a little harder on those builds though, now that I have accepted the fate that the venue icon will always be flashing. I've accepted it. Now we will go into some life updates because I've run out of things to talk about, I guess. Life updates from the last time I posted a speed build. I have no idea. I don't remember what I told you last. Yeah, recently. It's not even recently anymore. Immigrated to a new country, started a new job, moved into a new place, stressed out beyond all belief. And right now is also a very stressful time. So the fact that I'm even sitting down and filming this voiceover is a miracle. I did indeed sit down earlier tonight. I was like, maybe I just won't do the speed build voiceover today. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But I decided no. I'm going to film this. I'm going to get it out. This has been done for maybe a week and a half. So I just needed to suck it up, quite frankly, and post it. So that is what I'm doing. I'm not pushing it off any longer. But other life updates, I honestly don't have anything. My life is so boring. I go to work. Sometimes I eat food. Sometimes I go on a walk. And then I make YouTube videos. That is my life. You know, it's been interesting moving to a new country, especially since I don't really speak the language fantastically. I thought I was okay. And then I actually moved here and I figured out, no, I am indeed not okay at this. I am quite terrible. In fact, I've only gotten worse. Thankfully, pretty much everyone at work speaks English to me. And by pretty much everyone, I mean everyone. The only people that I don't speak English to are like out in public. So I also just don't get practice. I don't know why there is suddenly a long pause in this speed build. Oh, it cut. I think I actually do know. I think I had a crash during the speed build. Which, by the way, my laptop has been crashing. Poor little baby. It's annoying. This is an expensive laptop and it's not that old. I do overwork her though. I overwork her quite a bit, if I'm honest. But she's working hard. I recently got a cooling pad for my laptop because I think the reason it's been crashing is overheating. It only really crashes when I play The Sims and when I play Skyrim. Other gaming, it's fine. And I definitely think The Sims and Skyrim take up the most, CPU. So I'm just gonna hope that's the reason why, or else I wasted money on a cooling pad. But even if it's not because of that, I like having the cooling pad anyways. It goes up and down, so I can change the angle of my laptop. It's very fun. I've been enjoying it thus far. Hopefully it works. I have not tried to film a video yet, but the simple fact that this is running quite well so far while watching back my video is good news. Now, I don't know what else to talk about. Oh, other updates. Microphone. If you guys are not new to my channel and have watched this series before, you will know that my audio is not exactly known for being fantastic. Even this microphone that I have now. I did buy a microphone. She works. Does she work well? Maybe not exactly, but she doesn't work terribly. She gets the job done. Very simply. Not fantastically, but she gets the job done. And it's much better than recording on my iPhone. Yeah, that was not ideal, not my best moment. But yes, new microphone. Hopefully it sounds good. I don't think it sounds exactly crispy. It does kind of sound like I'm in a weird empty room, even though I'm not. But, as I said, she gets the job done. She does what she needs to do. No fuss. No strangeness. She does pick up on my laptop taking off in the background a little more than I'd like, but at least it's better than my iPhone audio, which was basically just crappy white noise of my laptop trying to fly into the sky with me talking in the background very quietly. So at least it's better than before. It could still be improved, but I don't have the money or the time to dedicate to getting an actual professional microphone. I also just don't have the space or the logistics because I'm not going to be here forever. That's an investment. So this tiny microphone, I can at least put in a suitcase and bring with me whenever I move away. So that's the reasoning behind the microphone. Now we are moving on into the movie theater meets weird sitting room situation. I don't know how to describe it, but it's got this strange dining room area and then a movie theater, which I don't know. I wanted to add a movie theater. There was no place that really made sense, but there's also not much I could do unless I put it in the basement. I didn't want to add even more space. So I just sucked it up and made the movie theater in there. Now we are moving on to the basement with the safe vault, adding a bunch of gold bars and bags of money and then that expensive necklace. And here we are with the dine out wine cellar shelves that look very modern and cool. I end up putting a bar down here and some sitting places. It's not too interesting, honestly. I like the story behind it, but it's just a basement with some wine and a bar. It's not too interesting. But I like it. I think it looks cool. It looks like a fun place to hang out, to party. And it definitely fits the vibes of this family. Now I'm going to talk about the case file again, just briefly. I know it's not super interesting and kind of confusing because you have no baseline off of what I'm actually doing. But today I was working on it quite diligently, I might say so. And I've been working on formatting the articles. And there's two types of articles in this case file: online articles and then newspaper clippings. The newspaper clippings were my favorite part. I formatted the page like an actual newspaper page. I called the local newspaper Haven and Hallow Press. So both the online articles and the newspaper clippings are from Haven Hallow Press. The idea is that the newspaper clippings are older news and the online articles are newer news. So Corine's disappearance was announced online, not in the newspaper clippings. But there is I don't want to say historic aspect because historic is completely the wrong word, but multi-generational mystery aspects to this mystery. I have been working on that. It's been a lot of fun. The storyline has developed quite a bit from the last time I updated you guys. And also the endings. I have not written any endings yet because I'm not quite sure what all the endings will be. I am vaguely aware of what some of them will be, including the highest degree of solved. That sounds very, very strange. That was a strange way to put it. But basically, in the save file, in the case file, there will be different endings, and they range from completely unsolved to completely solved. But you can also be somewhere in between. You can solve part of the mystery, but not all of it. I'm hoping. Again, I've not written the endings yet. I have no idea how we will get to said endings, but I'm really hoping at some point we do complete the entire endings in a satisfactory way. It's been a struggle to figure out the actual logistics. I'm definitely in over my head. I will be honest with you. This is not an easy thing. This is not something... It's a mess at this point. Hopefully it won't be by the time it comes out. I'm really hoping this turns out into the project that I want it to be. But execution and imagination are two very different things. If I were to execute it exactly how I wanted it, it would require exceptional levels of coding that I do not have to create a website that lets you go through in an actual functional way where you aren't, I guess, spoiled accidentally if you scroll to a different page. But I do not have that. I do not have the money to get someone to do that. So we are just gonna be in a Google document. It's not interesting, but it gets the job done. I've been working on formatting tables of contents so that you can click to different pages and figuring out the logistics of everything. It's been rough, stressful. I love that police sirens are passing by my house at this exact point. And now we are moving on to the pool house. This is currently where Hallie, the older sister, is living. I imagine usually this is just a guest house. If some family member comes to visit, they'll go here. Maybe if you have a butler and are just playing this with this house in your normal save, you could put the butler here. I think that's a great idea. I mean, how awesome would that be? A butler having your own mini house. And this really is a mini house. There ends up being a very beautiful master bedroom with these gorgeous, like, accordion doors that is also on the master bedroom. Ow. Did you guys hear that? I just hit my wrist on my tabletop. Anyways, the accordion doors are also in the master bedroom in the main house. I thought they worked very well here. And then there is an open concept kind of master bathroom. Then a smaller bathroom for, I'm guessing, just guests and people who are actually swimming out in the pool. There is a full kitchen and dining area. I think there's actually 2 dining areas, a smaller one in the kitchen and then one outside of the kitchen. A full living area, a coffee bar area. And I think that's it. Oh, and a bar area. Like, literally this pool house is decked out. You could just take this pool house, slap it on a lot, and it'd be a full house. No one would question anything. It definitely fits the vibes of the normal main house. I think I add some blue accents in here that weren't really in the main house. You'll see me trying to put this massive bar in, but it just looks strange, so I put the bar in this cute little nook. This is definitely a lot cuter of an area, I think, than the main house. Speaking of the amount of bars I've put on this lot, there is the bar downstairs in the wine cellar. There is the bar in here, the pool house. Then there is the bar out by the pool with like a grill and everything around it, and the bar in the like entertainment dining room area of the main house. There are 4 bars on this lot. Like, that is insanity. What do you mean there are 4 bars on this lot? No one needs that many bars. But we have them. I think my favorite bar is either the one in the basement or the one out by the pool, which you will not see in this speed build today. Again, that was in the outside exterior speed build that I posted, I think months ago at this point. It has been so long. I'm like sitting here filming this voiceover going, when will this end? Like, I've been sitting here so long just talking for hours. I mean, I talk for hours when I film normal videos too. But it's like, at least I get a break when I'm like, okay, this isn't interesting, I'm going to cut this out. I know that, I'm not going to talk. When I do the voiceovers for speed builds and such, I try to just go and there will be no cuts. Which means I also can't make mistakes or drink water. So talking for an hour or even over an hour with those conditions, it is difficult to say the least. I know I could make it so if I make a mistake, I could cut it out, but that's a lot of work. And then if I do that, I'm also off time with the video and I won't know where in the video I am. So, I just power through. And hopefully with this new mic, it isn't as like annoying to listen and as awkward. That's all I'm hoping. I know I'm not the best voiceover person out there. I don't have the nicest voice. And I often mispronounce words or talk too fast or slur my words together. And it's just hard to understand me. I've been trying to enunciate more. But then I just sound like I'm trying too hard. There really is no winning for me. But you know what? I try. And that is the best I can do. This coffee nook right here in the pool house is one of my favorite areas, which is so strange because it's just this little nook. And at first I had no idea what to do with it. I didn't even want to touch it. I was ignoring it until the last minute. And then I was like, you know what? Coffee nook. We kind of have that in the main house too, but it's not as nice. This coffee nook is so much better. I also added this, like, accordion? That is not what it's called. What is that called? I can't even think. Oh no. And I was trying to find a shelf to put it on. You know, like that red CC shelf that you can get to, like, put objects any height? I knew we had an object that we could use like that, but I couldn't remember what it was. Turns out it was the bathroom shelf, but that isn't available, I don't think, when you look up shelves. It's under, like, bathroom objects or something strange like that. So I just ended up using Tool. I'm going to have to get better at Tool, especially when I do the abandoned boathouse build. I don't even know how I'm going to achieve that. I'm ignoring it at this point because I don't even know what to do. It's like way out of my building caliber. Like, I don't know how to build a boathouse, even like a not abandoned one. I'm supposed to build an abandoned one that looks abandoned and looks nice and works for my storyline and add clues all in a timely manner. It's stressful. We'll see if this comes out in autumn. I mean, it's only June, so I have time. But also I work full time. And building takes it out of me, and I'm not skilled. But, you know, I'm going to tackle the other house first. The other Cape Cod Mansion. And once that is done, I will build the abandoned boathouse. And I will struggle. And I will get through it. And I will survive. And that's all that matters. Now here we are into the kitchen. I feel like I'm giving whiplash. I'll be like talking about random things, and then suddenly I will talk about the build. I don't know how to do speed-filled voiceovers. Is this okay? Is it interesting? Would you rather I just put music over my voice? Sometimes I wonder that. But then I can't chat about my day and talk about random nonsense. And I can't do that during my normal gameplay, like, videos, because there's no place for it, no place in time. This is my place in time to just chat about random things, so I'm going to. Anyways, what I was talking about, the kitchen. This kitchen is cute. I like it. The all white is definitely difficult to pull off. I don't think I pulled it off quite successfully in some places. I think this this pool house was very doable because it is small. Like, I could fit a whole house in here, but it's small and doable, and it looks good. But the main house, there's definitely empty spaces that look a little strange. The all white is kind of strange. If you look at the screenshots at the end of the upstairs hallway, the lighting there is so yucky. I'm like, I don't have any other way to describe it. I know yucky isn't very descriptive, but you'll see what I mean if you stick until the screenshots. Like, the lighting, especially on the ceiling. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so ugly. I hate it. But I did what had to be done. You know, I'm not the best builder. If I was a better builder, it probably wouldn't take me ages to get these speed builds out. But it's a good thing it's taking me ages because it gives me time to work on the case file. And hopefully by the time I finish the builds, the case file will be somewhere near completion. I mean, I still have a whole bunch to write, but I'm trying not to go overboard. For the interviews, they are half a page to like 3/4 of a page, no more than that. The interrogations, I'm going to try to stick to 1 page, but if I'm honest, you know, it'll probably be a 2-page limit. Then the diary entries are all 1 page or less. The articles all 1 page or less. The clues, less than a page, every single one. Like, they're just simple little clues. And is that all? Did I go through all 5? Articles, diary entries, interviews, interrogations, clues. Yes, I did. 300-page document. I have bit off more than I can chew in all honesty. But you know what? I've done what needed to be done, what has existed now. And now that I'm looking at the timeline, I wonder, do I, in this build video, I finished the house, right? Because it's getting like closer and closer to the end, and I haven't even gone upstairs. Maybe I just did the upstairs so quickly and everything just fell into place beautifully. You never know. Maybe it did. I'm hoping. Or else I royally screwed up this video. Which is possible. It just would suck if it was true. Now this greenhouse, beautiful, full of plants. I really love how this turned out. The lighting, fantastic, just like gorgeous. And then all of the greenery, the plants, I pretty much placed every plant I thought was pretty and could work inside a greenhouse in here. And then also like planters, I think a chess table, a flower arranging table, a dining table. I imagine the mom, I can't even remember her name. It's like Autumn, I think actually, has like garden parties with all her friends here. They'll have tea. She 100% does not maintain a garden. This is done almost entirely by a gardener. I guarantee you. Autumn does not touch a shovel. She does not touch dirt. But she likes people thinking she does. Maybe she does flower arranging. I doubt it. But it is a possibility. I just don't think she gardens. She likes people to think she gardens. But this is all very curated to appear like this beautiful garden. She keeps herself. She's just the perfect mom and housewife. I don't know why I'm suddenly talking like that. But I love this greenhouse. It is gorgeous. The white looks so cool. The like ceiling adds this gorgeous lighting to this back corner. Sometimes it felt a little too dark, but I really like how it ended up. I put a huge round dining table, an easel. I think Hallie probably does art. You know, she's kind of the rebel of a family, dropped out of college, other things, I'm sure. I still have to develop this family and develop all the families. I mean, there's so many Sims I'm planning to add to this save. Too many Sims, if we're quite honest with ourselves. But no, I just think I really love this house. It's not perfect by any means whatsoever. Not even close. But I do think it is a fun build. Has a lot of storyline, a lot of potential. And I'm really hoping I actually finish the speed build in what I've created here. Because now that I'm looking at it, is there really enough time to furnish this entire upstairs? I sure do hope so. We are moving on to Logan's room. Now, at first I did not know how I wanted to design his room. I was thinking rich boy, old money aesthetic, blue, white, polo shirt, shorts, yacht energy. But then I was like, that's not really what I want for Logan. So I ended up doing this like red and black kind of look, very sporty. He has a beanbag chairs with like a TV, a bunch of posters, a kind of gaming setup on his desk, a punching bag, just very teen boy. That is what this room is, which I like. I think it has personality. It helps me think about who I wanted Logan to be a bit more as a character, because I won't lie, I was a little on the fence about who he should be. You know, before this, he was definitely the stereotypical rich boy aesthetic, which, you know, he still is. He's still like blonde, blue eyes, Rich definitely has his own boat that he gets to take out. This lot does come with a private beach and a private dock, which they definitely own so many boats. And I just wanted him to have a little bit more personality than that. So I tried to make him still look very teen boy. I wanted him to be into sports. He is definitely very popular in school. But I also wanted it to look like he, just has a lot of friends, is a little bit more down to earth than you'd expect. Now, I'm not saying he's down to earth. He's not down to earth by any means whatsoever. He is a rich boy. He has an attitude, an ego. He's an interesting character. I don't want to say he's my favorite character so far, but I do tend to like characters like him, where they are taken from this stereotype that is very well known in pop culture, like the rich teenage boy who comes from old money, he doesn't adhere to rules, he gets in trouble at school, doesn't get good grades, all that typical stuff that is very common in pop culture and in media. And I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more dynamic. He's still, just not a great person. By any means. But he's not a terrible person either. He's just a teenage boy. And that's the important part to remember. He's a teenage boy. He also is a suspect in Corine's disappearance. So keep that in mind. I think the main suspects so far, which I don't think this is spoiling anything for you, but if you don't want to hear it, don't listen. I don't know what to say. But the main suspects so far are Logan, Corine's ex-boyfriend, Bailey, Corine's best friend, Miracle, who is Corine's academic rival in school. And is there anyone else? I'm thinking those three are the main suspects. You could also argue other people, but that is from confidential case file things that you have not gone through yet and I have not disclosed yet. And I want it to be a surprise. I want this whole mystery to work out. I really hope it does, because if it doesn't, I will have wasted my time trying to achieve something that is not achievable with The Sims. And trying to achieve something that is probably out of my caliber anyways. But anyways, we have finally moved on to Mavis's room, which is so cute. I added a bunch of stuffed animals. It's very pink, very girly. She has a bunch of stuff for her cat. She adores her cat. Her cat is her life. And I imagine everyone else in this household just despises cats, absolutely hates them, but that is her life. Her life is her cat, and cats in general. Cats are just everything she loves. I might make her a cat lover, we'll see. And she's very pink, very girly, very princess energy coming from Mavis. I mean, she is just adorable, definitely a little spoiled, she is the daughter of very rich parents, but not a brat, which I think is an important difference to make. We have this little cat corner with the cat bed and cat tree. Her room just ends up looking super cute. I, at least, really like it. I think it was a fun little room. And the time keeps ticking down, and I'm sitting here I do finish this build, right? It'll be so funny if I don't. I mean, this is a long video, so maybe it just looks like there's not a lot of time left, but there's actually so much time left, which is quite possible. But we have a whole other side of the house to furnish, and still have to finish furnishing the side. Maybe I was just speedy. I did kind of give up at this point. I was so tired. I just wanted to place items down and be done with it. Because this build took me forever. If you combine the exterior time with the interior time, I don't even want to know how many hours I dedicated to this build. Too many. Far too many hours have been dedicated to this build. But it is the biggest lot in the save. I don't think it's going to be the most complicated. Again, the abandoned boathouse is 100% going to be the most complicated build that I've probably ever done. Like, I'm just hoping I can achieve what I want, because I'll be quite disappointed if I can't achieve that, honestly. Because I want it to fit exactly what I have in mind, and it's not going to. I know that. But hopefully I'll at least come somewhere close to it. And if you guys have tips, if you know how to get that abandoned look, if you are well versed in Tool, just let me know. Just drop a comment. Speaking of comments, let me know if you like this build, the speed build. I'm sorry that I had to have my stupid icon in the corner, but I thought that was better than having to see the flash literally every second when it's sped up this fast. And I also thought it was just better in general. I also updated my profile picture, so at least it's nicer to look at than my original, which was very ugly. But sorry that my sim self face is just pasted up there in the top corner like a watermark. It's definitely strange. But let me know what you think of this build. I know it's huge. It definitely contributed to making my laptop crash because so many objects are on this lot. The lot is huge. It got to the point where if I tried to build any new walls, it would take several seconds to respond, which is fun. It's fine. At least when my game crashed, it would also save before my laptop crashed, which is a godsend, because if it didn't, same with like the OBS system. The OBS system would continue like recording even when my laptop crashed down. If you guys know anything about that, I'm so not versed in computers. I don't even know if you'd call it a crash, because it just shuts down itself and then I turn it back on. The game's still running, I can save it, and then OBS is still running. I can stop the recording and in the video. I said that in a weird way. Yeah, if you know what's causing that, if it is the overheating, hopefully it will be fixed by the cooling pad, and just the fact that whenever I'm filming and I notice my laptop getting too hot, I will grab my fan that I use to sleep. I will point it at my laptop and put it on full blast so that my laptop cools down. You know what? It's worked so far. This is Hallie's old room, which I think is really fun. It's one of my favorite rooms in the entire house. It has a lot of personality. I think it's alternative while still being girly and pink. And oh my, that was definitely ended before showing the whole furnishing. No. Well, this video is too long anyways, and I'm guessing that footage was deleted because of my multiple issues getting OBS to film while building this house. So I'm very sorry about that. Hopefully you can see everything through the screenshots. You'll be able to see the upstairs hallway and the two rooms that you didn't get to see, which weren't that interesting. It was just a yoga room and a workout room, like a gym. So you didn't miss too much of interest. But with all that being said, it is time for me to end this voiceover. I've been talking too long. My voice is probably sounding a lot more dead than it did before. And I usually don't talk through screenshots, so I'm just gonna get out of here. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe to see more of this save file. Peace and love. Bye.